Hello, my name is Bart from NatureManufacture. I will show you how to build frozen land demo scene without spending hours on object placement. Everything will be procedurally as much as it could be. So that's why we will use awesome technologies Vegetation Studio for foliage placement. This will also support our foliage shaders for grass mostly. We will use CTS for nice terrain rendering and high blending on the textures, Gaia for fast, high and terrain shape prototyping. We will avoid to use terrain brushes, of course NatureManufacture assets, and post-processing stack with also screen space shadows post-process. We will use screen space shadows to get shadows from the grass objects. If we will use normal shadows from the grass, it will be very expensive, but such a fake solution, it will be good enough and very cheap in render. Now we have to adjust Unity directional light, and its intensivity should be above 1 because Unity rendering behave much better in these values than in standard 1. That's why HDSRP use intensivity around 4 and LVSRP use intensivity around 2. Yeah, we also put a cookie mask on our directional light, which generate shadows on the terrain. It looks like clouds. If we'll move position, we'll see that the clouds moving. Until we will not use rotation for this light, we will not force any light baking. This means we could even animate these clouds so they will move at runtime and simulate cloud shadows. It's very cool thing, very cool feature, but some shaders have sometimes problem with cookie light on directional light. We create this flat terrain was created with Gaia. If we go to Gaia and show Gaia Manager, there is a button which create terrain. We use our own terrain resource file, which will be available at this movie. When we create terrain with Gaia, we get session manager, stamper, and covered texture spawner. We will use stamper to just generate basic shape of the terrain at the moment. We'll turn off image effects, and first stamp should be some kind of valley or shape that give general image of the terrain. It don't have to be very high, and it's just give overview of what general shape we will create. Let's reduce the vertical scale. Yep, let's stamp it. It will take a moment. Now let's take a look how the textures and CTS profile will look. So we will generate splats on it. It will be automatically by angle. Let's do it and see how our profile and terrain rendering will behave on different terrain angles. And here we go. It looks pretty nice. I mean, snow behave pretty natural. I think this will be good enough. Of course, this profile for terrain will be also included in video related files. So everyone could make such a thing just by drag and drop our profiles. Let's add some rocks now. I especially like this hill because it have already erosion included. It's pretty cool. It's really cool hill. In most cases I built whole scene only with this one stamp. Just take a look what will happen. I just put few hills with different scale, rotate them, we will add some noise on the terrain and more hills. Yeah, we also have to place more flatted area between, I mean, the connect big hills with a flat area, because it will look much more natural. At the moment we have very big block of solid rock texture, so let's add some noise there by putting something in the middle between the hill and the flat area. This will add some noise. You will see the effect very quickly. Look. Now it looks pretty fine. I mean, we could even work more on this, but it's not necessary for this video. It only shows how powerful this tool is and how fast we could create such a nice mountains. Now we will simply add a river. There is a new feature that we want to show related to river auto material. It's simulation. We have to choose nice point for river start. Let's look around where it would be nice to show. Basically, when we set up this point, river auto material will analyze the terrain and show how the river will look. Just take a look. Simulation, and we have some debug which will show us how it behaves. Let's increase the length of the river. Yep, it's pretty nice. As it analyzes the terrain, the river bed will be as natural as it could be. Yeah, maybe let's leave it in 800. Okay, that's fine. Now we should adjust amount of points and make few tests how many points it will generate for us. Let's generate this setup, and we see that it's too many for us. It's crazy. Let's change this value. Let's remove first the points and generate spline again. Yep. Now it looks pretty fine. But probably we should adjust this a bit. I mean, maybe less points will be better. Yeah, it's fine now. I think it's fine. We should now change the river width. Maybe 10 will be enough, or even 12. Yeah, let's leave it on 12. Let's make a big river. Now we could shape the terrain. It's based on curves. We could change the shape by curve. Just take a look. We just add some values. Yeah, nice. And there is a debug button. I mean, it shows how the riverbed will look on this terrain. It seems that we have to add some height on the borders. Yep. And we should increase outside range just to create nice blend between riverbed and terrain around it. So yeah, now it's pretty fine, but seems that the riverbed is still too flat. Let's multiply the terrain curve. Yeah, maybe 7. I think it's too, yeah, 4 will fit much better. Yeah, so this is how it will look when we'll generate the river, but there are still some places that we have to fix manually. Yeah, these hard angles always generate problems on UV, and let's make it more smooth. Yep, in such a way we will avoid any render problems with that. It will be fine now. Okay, so let's shape the terrain. Let's look how it will look after this process. And we have our river. It looks pretty nice, but we have to put some material on it. We could always use profiles or just drag and drop material which we prepared before. It will be frozen river. Yep. This river is from Dynamic Nature Starter or from Ice World. These both packs use this ice shading and these ice textures. Let's increase the river width a bit. Yeah. Now it looks pretty fine, even this place. We have to think now where we should start to building our scene, but let's take a look what Vegetation Studio will do with such a configuration. We see that it spawns assets everywhere, and we basically use our advanced foliage and advanced rock pack as a background. These both assets support auto-covered snow, that's why it looks so nice. But yeah, we probably should remove these assets from riverbed. I mean, at the moment they are spawned inside the river. First, let's change the shape a bit. I mean, let's scale and add some noise on the river. It will look less linear and more natural. I think this will give a lot to our image. Let's add vegetation mask. And as we see, it removes all foliage from riverbed. Of course, all boundaries, everything could be adjusted as we want. It's nothing special. Let's play with this scene a bit. Let's take a look. I think this place will be nice for building our scene, our demo. I mean, we'll focus on this place. Let's create small cascade, ice cascades around this place. Yes. Let's create small lake or something like that. Yeah, it will look pretty nice. Let's by scaling and the moving points we add more noise, and we also create this lake. Yeah, that's fine now probably. Now we have to spawn our foliage. I mean, we also use at this demo we'll use our advanced mountain tree pack, Dynamic Nature, and the whole trees are related to litter texture on the terrain. So if we will paint a litter on the terrain, it will spawn forest for us. Of course, we'll turn off Vegetation Studio to make it quickly, because real-time spawning is not the point of our interest now while we are painting on the terrain. Yeah, let's add some noises on high blend. It will look pretty nice at the end. Even more litter. It has very nice high blend with CTS. Yep, now it looks pretty fine. Let's see what will happen when we turn on Vegetation Studio. We see that Vegetation Studio spawned forest for us. Yeah, it has to be adjusted, but the first view looks pretty okay. I mean, we didn't spend much time on placing trees, and we probably should put more trees around this this place. I mean, to hide empty places, and yeah, and the river also needs some adjustment. Okay, let's focus on the placing more trees on the hills and mountains around this place. It will be really quick. Just will not spend so much time on blending and fighting with high blend. Just let's put some trees. Basically, we put some lighter texture on the terrain in the background. Okay, now let's see what will happen now. Let's turn on Vegetation Studio. Yep, we have whole forest and even forest in background. Let's turn on and image effects. Yeah, it looks pretty fine. There are a few things that we have to adjust, but it seems to be okay. We should add just a mask, vegetation mask. Let's remove some trees from a river. As we scale the river, we have to refresh the mask. Oh, it's not. Maybe let's change the accuracy. Let's change the accuracy. And no, it's not display. Sorry, my mistake. And just create whole outline again. Oh, it's fine. Let's change the distance of cutted foliage. And it's fine. I think now it looks pretty natural. It could be, of course, adjusted more, but why? Just let's focus on this small area. So now we'll create a small ice waterfall. We will add 1 point more after point 4, just to adjust spline shape and have more control in this place. It cost us nothing, just button click, and yeah, now we have nice shape of the waterfall. Let's play a bit with this. It's fine. Let's add some rocks. These objects will be placed manually. We will use our rocks from dynamic nature starter. They look pretty fine. Yeah. We'll also add some flow. So yeah, I think the first one was okay. Oh, this one will be okay. Let's add some. Let's add a mesh collider on the river spline, just to place object more accurate on the water surface. Cool thing about putting ice rocks in ice material, ice lake material, is that we get a bit more depth in the image. I mean, when we put ice into ice, as we see, we get pretty nice effect of blending between them, and it seems to look more natural for the first view. So let's put some models around this place. It's UV free. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. We have to add light probe group, just because lower LODs use light probe groups instead of baked AO and GI. Yeah, it's pretty fine now, but we have to add some pebbles around bigger objects. just because it will look more natural. I mean, sometimes scene looks strange just because objects are not placed naturally. These pebbles around the bigger objects will give us a natural view, and also some noise on the ice surface. It will look very nice. I think it's good way to in cheap way to increase the general view of this place, right? Yeah. Let's increase high under the waterfall, so it will be more transparent. Okay, that's fine. Now we should add a reflection probe, because everyone loves reflection, and it gives big amount of additional colors on the reflective surface. I mean, the trees reflection on the ice surface are really nice. So we'll increase the box size, so it will have more influence on objects around this place. We'll increase resolution. It's not necessary, but why not? Why not? We should put this probe a little lower and in the middle. Yeah, so reflections will be more accurate just for the ice surface. We get a lot of colors on this surface now, just after we add the reflection probe. This gives a lot. Good way to increase demo visual aspect is to put some wet materials even on ground. Of course, on ground you will get reflections from props or from screen space reflection image effect, which is pretty expensive. But the whole thing is that in many images the wet material is something that gives really cool effect, and it's cheap, right? In most cases it's cheap, and it focuses eyes on it. People focus eyes on this, and yeah, it's very cool feature. I mean, I will highly advise to use wet materials on your whole scenes. Okay, that's fine. I think we have to add just some textures around. Yeah. Okay, so we have this this view with reflections. It looks nice, but not all image effects are turned on editor view. The anti-aliasing, which basically will make this trees smooth, and their movement will be more smooth, and just its visual aspect works only on camera at play mode. So let's move our camera into this place and see what will happen. I mean, let's click play and let's take a look at our small scene which we made in this short time. Okay. Yeah, I think it's enough. Let's click play. I think the stats are pretty nice for this, especially when we record the video at the same time. But yeah, let's maximize the view. Yeah, and it's smooth, and anti-aliasing done its job, right? Yeah, stand and reflections look pretty nice, I think. Of course, we will share this scene to you. We will spend about an hour more to adjust it. I mean, we'll put some more details. About wind is pretty important. I mean, to set up wind at such a stand, it's just drag and drop into the scene. We could adjust the wind speed like that, and yeah, it's pretty nice, but it's ported HDSRP wind to lower unity version, but we prefer lower values. I mean, yeah. So this scene will be shared to you, so you could learn and see how we build that and play with all these values and setup which we made for you. We'll spend some time to put more forest places into the scene, so you could add a river or a frozen river, even lava river, your own, to this scene, and play with it and learn how to get nice effect without spending hours on manual object placement. Please give us feedback about this video and tell us if you want more stuff like that, if you want to see how we build our scenes and how to get a nice effect without spending hours on object placement, and how to use our assets in many different ways, how to connect them as they work together.